Thanks to the support as a channel member, Aiden C97. Well, there we go. We did the non-league double and we are now a National League team. Remember when the Tycoon Takeover was first rumoured and we were supposed to be getting a £22 million transfer budget? That didn't happen. Remember when my chairman promised me 325,000 of transfer budget for this season? Well, that hasn't happened either. And although we've got more money than I probably would have expected us to have, and we are full-time professionals now, and we're getting new training and new facilities, I need to put some pressure on this chairman to back me properly financially, because I want to go back to back. I think he wants to go back to back, and I'm not sure he's thrown enough money at me to make that happen yet. We need a special summer. Hello and welcome to part 24 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode is our season review and transfer special. At the end of season 3, our promotion season, our FA Trophy winning season, one of the best seasons this football club has ever had. Signing of the season, no doubt, no question really, Owen Farmer. 40 goals from 41 starts, plus 8 assists and a 7.32 average rating. Considering he lost his place for the final 10 games of the season or so as well, he is remarkable. He is spectacular. I love him. I'd like these two boys to come in permanently to join him. And with Alpha Ruprecht and Agbenone, we're starting to put together a team that could play in League One. Never mind the National League. This squad is starting to come together nicely. Shame the fans don't care, innit? Wouldn't it be nice if we could get to 1,000 fans for this season? But there's your league table. We won the league comfortably. Southport coming up with us through the playoffs in the end. Money-wise, everything's moving in the right direction, apart from broadcast revenue, which is odd, because we had a fairly deep FA Cup run, but obviously not quite as deep as the previous year. But competition prize money was up because of the FA Trophy win, and our reputation has gone up as well, which is probably partly because of the FA Trophy win, partly the promotion, partly the Tycoon Takeover, and will hopefully lead to us being able to bring in some good players. They're the top shirt sellers. Obviously, Owen Farmer selling more than anybody, and that is your team of the year. Laidlaw in goal, who we're probably going to look to replace this summer. Shipley, who we've already replaced. Ellison, who's going back to his parent club, plus Craig and McWilliams, who are also losing but going to try and sign permanently. Tripp, Defern and Devenny. I think we're losing all 3 of them this summer. Tripp and Defern both go back to their parents' clubs, and I think Devenny's out of contract, and I'm probably going to try and upgrade him. And then the front 3 is spectacular. Agbenone, Alpha Ruprecht, Farmer. Look at the amount of goals between them, the amount of assists between them. They are special boys. Fans Player of the Year was Owen Farmer. He also got Young Player of the Year, signing of the season, top goal scorer. Most assists went to Alpha Ruprecht. Farmer, most man of the matches and highest average ratings. It turns out he was quite a good signing and finished as the National League North top goal scorer as well. He set club records. This is the Owen Farmer record breakers section. He set the club record for goals in a season, league goals in a season, goals in a match, goals in a league match, most man of the match awards in a season. And then we also had Ross Laidlaw set the record for most clean sheets. Ollie Ewing, naughtiest boy in history. Reece Ashton was our highest transfer fee received at 24 grand. And Siddy Peck scored our fastest goal ever at 35 seconds, which is quite good. That's quite fast, isn't it? Yeah, I haven't even taken my seat at that point. This is our all-time best 11. As you can imagine, Farmer bursting straight into it, as has Alpha Ruprecht. And the majority of these boys are the boys who you've just seen secure that promotion. They are the best players in the save so far. So this is what Adam wants next season. Despite talk of continental football when he first took over, he's just happy for us to attempt to avoid relegation. So maybe we don't need to go nutso trying to do back-to-back promotions after all, because he's just happy for us to establish ourselves in this league over the next 5 years. I thought we shared the same ambitions, Adam. I'm starting to worry he might not have the money he initially led us to believe he does, although at least we are getting the training facilities and youth facilities upgraded. But we did spend most of the actual cash we'd seen on that, and he's not added another penny to the club since then. So I'm slightly alarmed, but let's tell the boys that we are going to attempt to avoid relegation. Which one is that? There's so many words here. There you go. I'm going to give you a chance to keep us up. I hope that wasn't a promise to not sign anyone. I never fully know which one of those is going to auto-promise a load of nonsense that I don't want to promise. Yeah. Who the hell is Oliver Adams? He's another one of the new signings. I guess I could introduce you to those guys. I haven't promised them they're going to be involved next season. They're both insisting that I don't bring Brackley in by the looks of it. The signings that we have already brought in, if I can actually get to the right screen, the Premier League youngsters, there are 5 of them. Drew Warburton is a left back who has come in from Manchester City. We also have Ian Thomas, who's a left back. He came in from Arsenal, so 2 shiny new left backs. William Aguier is a striker who's come in from Tottenham. No, that's him again. And then we've got Ali McCady, who's a defender / defensive midfielder at 5'6". He's very much a defensive midfielder, and he's not actually very good. 2 stars current ability, 4 stars potential. Comes in from Liverpool. You'll probably never see him play. And then Oliver Adams is a left winger who has come in from Arsenal as well. We also, towards the end of the season, had the usual goalkeeper, not enough strength in depth mutiny. So we signed 2 goalkeepers then, who might end up fighting for the spot, or they might get replaced. So Harvey Collins, who was formerly of Reading and Maidenhead, came in, and also Adam Richardson, who is formerly of Sunderland, arrived towards the end of last season as well. Money-wise, we've got plenty. There's plenty of wage budget. They're not going to let us move any transfer budget into the wage budget, which is interesting. And priority number 1 for me is to sign him permanently, because he was incredible, but it doesn't seem like it's an option just yet. Players we've got running out of contract, if we just highlight the ones who are going to be leaving, it is all of those guys. So I'm probably happy letting all of them leave. It's going to be sad to see the departure of the likes of Connor Hall, Ollie Ewing, Keston Davies. These boys have been, Cade Craig and Connor Hall have been here since the start. Murray was good, but we've just signed 2 good left backs over the top of him. And obviously we're losing the loans as well, although we're hoping to bring at least 2 of them back permanently. That would be nice. Although with Port Vale and Stevenage after McWilliams, we're probably not going to get him. And then we've got the bulk of the rest of the squad to just add to when we get to free transfer day. So that is the plan, boys and girls. Wish me luck. I hate this. I hate that that's happened, because that's not what I wanted to do. It's just not clear from those stupid conversation items which one you're supposed to click. Just take that out of the game. That is a rubbish feature that no one has ever enjoyed. Well, first piece of heartbreak, we're not getting Ashton McWilliams because he signed a new contract with Chesterfield, which is very sad. What about Bradley? He is still theoretically running down his contract, but we still can't offer him a contract of our own. So... right, get rid of the stupid player promise thing and add in being able to have a conversation with him and say, look, Bradley, I will be offering you a contract as soon as I'm allowed to. I'm building the team around you. I want you to be part of my plans. Don't sign to go and be a reserve at Peterborough. Come and play for us. We've got a Tycoon backing us. Why can't I have that conversation? Why, instead, have I accidentally promised Louis Marsh that I'm not going to sign a replacement for him? This guy has started 1 game for us ever. Player interactions are rubbish. What a time to be alive. This is very much a Tycoon situation. I don't think we could offer that kind of money ordinarily. We are coming close to maxing out on our wage budget already by doing it, but he was so good. And I think him and Farmer, with Marsh coming off the bench, we're going to switch to this system. We're going to do a 4-2-4. We're losing most of our central midfielders, so we'll just go to a 4-2-4 with Farmer up front, with Hoinvien. I need to learn to say his name, and then the 2 fancy wingers out wide. That is an attack that can do really rather well. It's going to leave us even more defensively suspect, but who cares? Defending's for losers. So we have made it through to the 1st of July. Just the one signing coming in, pre-arranged, Brackley Town. I've looked it up. Apparently that's how you say his name. So he's going to obviously be our main man, or one of our main men up front this season. There's been a number of the fringies that have been released, which means money-wise, we've got about $5,000 to play with, which isn't a huge amount, but obviously we've got loans to do as well. And the squad is, fair to say, slightly lopsided currently. Up front, we've got plenty of options. As our target man, obviously, big Brackley. And then realistically, if he's not available, we probably go to one striker. So we don't need to worry too much about strength in depth in that position. And as the advanced forward alongside him, Louis Marsh, Owen Farmer, the youngster Aguier, who's come in. Williams is, Adams is a winger. On the left-hand side, we've got Agbenone and Adams, plus other players who can cover over there. On the right, Alpha Ruprecht and Cabia. We've got Beckham on the transfer list. Cabia gets to stick around for now because he's young and has a lot of potential. Alpha Ruprecht and Agbenone have both been given new contracts. So they're both on big money and could potentially be sold for big money if they continue developing the way they have. We have basically no defensive midfielders. So we need to sign 3 or 4 of them. We're well stocked at left back though. Ian Thomas, Lewis Shipley, Drew Warburton. Plus, I mean, we've basically got 4 left backs there. We can probably get rid of Amiri. I think we can probably transfer list him. We don't need loads and loads of left backs. So let's get him gone. We don't really have any right back. Well, we have Camerson. McWilliams is going back to Chesterfield. Nothing we can do about it. It's very sad. So we need another right back. And then we don't have a centre back. McKeedy's a midfielder. He's only 5'6". Shipley's a left back, so we need 3 or 4 centre backs. And then in goal, we've accepted an offer for Laidlaw, so he's probably going to be off to Derry, and then it's going to be between Richardson and Collins in goal, unless we can find somebody better than the pair of them, which would be the ideal. But the priority, I think we're stocked in these positions. We don't need any attackers, we don't need a left back, but we do need another 4 or 5 defenders and probably at least 3 midfielders. So with the money we've got, it's going to be tight, but let's see. I might even might be time for a conversation and just try and remind the board that they did tell me I was getting more. No, just, yeah, not even going to talk about this season's budget, apparently. Oh, well, we've managed to bring in a couple more players. Ronnie Hollingshead is a 22-year-old Welsh goalkeeper, formerly of West Brom. He's had loans with Barrow and Gateshead, so played 15 games in League Two last year. I think he can come in and be our new starting goalkeeper to replace Ross Laidlaw, who has gone to Derry for £10,000. We've also sold Amiri. He's gone to Maidenhead for £43,000, which was briefly our highest ever transfer until Romeo Beckham went to Forest Green, £71,000. He's off to League Two as well. Shows how good we are that we can sell a fringe player to a League Two club. The only other guy we've brought in so far, Caden Rodney, who is a defensive midfielder who can also cover at right back and centre back. He is formerly of Crystal Palace and was on loan at Charlton in League One last season. So again, he had a full season in League One with Exeter the year before that. So he is a decent calibre of player. We're paying for it, but he should be able to control that midfield for us. The only problem is we've now used up pretty much all of our budget. We still don't have any centre backs, and we don't really have a midfield. So we're relying a lot on the goalkeeper being good and the front 4 being great. I really hope we can find some good loans. Well, we've solved the no players problem. Unfortunately, there is now a massively over the wage budget problem, but you know what? We've got a tycoon. He promised me more money than he's given me. I'm putting that on him. I signed players based on expecting to get a big transfer budget for this season and didn't get it. I fully blame him for this situation. But we have brought in a centre-back. Priestley Farquharson is a 30-year-old English centre-back. He's 6'3", and he's formerly of Chesterfield, Walsall, Newport. Lots of League Two experience. So another player who's probably too good for this level, exactly the kind of player we want to bring in. Isaac Smith has come in on loan for the season from Cardiff. He's a 6'2" English centre-back who was previously of Manchester City, went on a free transfer to Cardiff, never really played. We are having to pay his salary because we couldn't find any free loans that were any good, but 1.2k, not too bad actually, in the grand scheme of things. Brad Hills is another loan who equally we're paying the same amount of money to. He's a 23-year-old English centre-back, can also cover at right back, and at 5'10", that's where he's more likely to play. He's formerly of Norwich, went to Dundee, and has now joined us. And then we've brought in Ryan East, who's a 28-year-old central midfielder, who, if I can show you his career, history. Can I show you his career history, please? He's formerly of Reading, Swindon, Bradford, Rochdale, Stockport. Again, another one with lots of Football League experience, albeit never as a regular starter. But the one season he did have in the National League, he did start regularly for Rochdale. So again, plenty of experience at this level, which means we probably have a squad that's good enough. We've got 3 decent goalkeepers. We can probably let one of those go. Rob Harley's already gone out on loan. At left back, we've got 3 good options, although Shipley probably is going to be covering more at centre-back this season, although now we've brought 3 in, less so, but it's really Thomas and Warburton that we're looking at as our starting left-backs, or our rotation-y left-backs. At right-back, Camerson's the only one who's natural there, but Hills, we are training to play there. He's already unhappy, which is nice. You're already out on loan, Brad. Chill out. And Rodney can cover there as well if need be. And then at centre-back, we'd probably go with Smith and Farquharson, with Hills, Shipley, Rodney, the youngster, McCady. They can all be kind of backup options, although, like I say, if I end up having to play the 5'7" kid at centre-back, you know things have got bad. I'm training him to play right back as well. In the deep-lying playmaker role, it's probably going to be East. And then we'll have the likes of Joe Knight and Devaney, who's still here but hasn't learned to play defensive midfield yet, as the backups to him. And then as the more defensive midfielder, it'll be Rodney, and then a selection of centre-backs who can cover for him if he's not in the team. So we've still not got the strength in depth we'd like in central midfield. I mean, it's another indication that we had to move away from the 3-man central midfield. We don't have enough midfielders to be able to do it. We've spent all our money on fancy wingers and strikers. It's the Kev way. On the left wing, we know we're going to start with Agbenone. We've got Adams there who can provide cover for him and various others. Devaney can actually play out there, but like I say, we're training him to play defensive midfield, although he's currently injured, which is probably going to slow his training down. And then on the right, we've got Alpha Ruprecht and Cabia as his backup. And then up front, we'll start with Ionvien, I can say his name now, and Farmer, but Marsh will be your backup to Farmer. And we'll have to figure something else out if Big Bradley's not able to play, so we don't really have anyone else who can do that target man role. It would likely just be Marsh and Farmer playing together, and we'll just change the system up a little bit to accommodate them. We also have the youngster Aguier, who came in the summer, who's got loads of potential, and luckily isn't expecting loads of football, but could end up quite good eventually. So I think that is good strength in depth. Financially, it's a disaster. We are £10,000 a week over the wage budget, and our projection is disastrous. So hopefully our supposed tycoon is going to put his hands in his pocket at some point. I mean, so far, having a tycoon, it's not been all it's cracked up to be. I've delivered him 2 trophies. He's reneged on a promise to give me money. The £22 million we were supposed to get when he first came in, never saw any of that. And yeah, it's not quite worked out the way I had planned, but I've spent accordingly. And the media think we are going back to back. So although the chairman is just looking for us to avoid a relegation battle, I think based on the squad we've assembled and the players that we've got, we should be looking to be in a promotion battle. Not necessarily winning the league again, but certainly getting up into the playoffs. This is the hardest league to get out of in all of football as well. So if we can win it, that'd be great, because don't know if I've mentioned before, both me and Brackley struggle a little bit with the playoffs. It's still only the 18th of July, so we've got a couple of weeks to go. So there's always the chance yet that one of our goalkeepers will go out on loan or leave permanently. Maybe someone like Cabia could end up leaving permanently, but realistically, we're so far over our wage budget. Anybody leaving now isn't going to get replaced. So ideally, we don't let anybody go. And the only players who might still be able to come in are free loans. And like I say, so far, not been able to find any of them that are worth bringing in. Should we just check in with my boy? Because we still do need a right back. We're saving a spot for him in the squad. Go on, Ashton. No. I mean, we can ask. No. It's going to be heartbreaking if they don't use him. And nobody did leave before the 1st of August and the season is about to begin. We did do the usual shenanigans with taking prize money and moving it into transfer budget and getting ourselves a little bit of extra wage budget. So we're not quite as over that as we were before, but we are quite over it. So I think we need to massively overperform the league expectations to balance out these expectations. And I think we're going to need a cup run. I don't know that having a tycoon is going to be everything I thought it was going to be. And we might still end up jumping ship if this season doesn't start well. There's no jobs available at the moment, but how long am I under contract for? I've still got 2 years. Looks like I'm sticking around for a while. Cool, look at I got Disneyland money for winning the FA Trophy last year. Lovely old stuff. Cool, that's a heavy piece of compensation. Goodness me. Right, so let's just check. I think we are still favourites. Dorking. Dorking are the enemy. Dorking are now favourites to win the league. We start things off against Ebbsfleet, one of the teams that rejected me last year. It was very sad. But fingers crossed, we start well with our wonderful new look team. If nothing else, that front four is a thing of beauty. We just need to score more than the opposition. And with these two up front, as long as they can both make the step up, which you'd like to think they should be able to, but they were both goal a game strikers last year. 12 in 12 for Oyunvien. I've lost it again. And for Farmer, 32 in 39, but it was 32 in 33 starts, 8 in 8 in the cup. And bearing in mind, half the cup games were against League One teams. Shows just how good his goal return was. We've gone full big man, little man, and spent a lot of money on Rodney to basically operate in two positions in midfield and cover for the lack of a guy in there. We're losing the Mazzala, gaining a target man. We've regressed, if anything. But if you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.